How many of you believe that you need a high-paying job to become a millionaire? Well, today, I have a story for you that might just shatter that belief. Let me introduce you to Ronald Read. In June 2014, Ronald's name echoed through every major news channel, but not for reasons you might expect. Ronald, unlike the flashy millionaires of Instagram, had lived most of his life in secrecy, hiding a vast fortune of $8 million. Now, what's incredible is that Ronald was no CEO or tech mogul. He was a janitor, earning just around $22,000 a year in the 2000s. So, how did he do it? The first lesson we can learn from Ronald is the concept of the wealth formula. It's a straightforward formula that many overlook. Income minus expenses equals cash flow. It's not about how much you earn, but about how much you save and invest. Even if you're earning a 5-figure salary, if your expenses consume every cent, you'll never be financially independent. But if you manage to save, even a tiny portion, that money can be invested, working for you to generate future revenue. Now, how do you measure if you're on track to become a millionaire? The key lies in how much you've saved at your current age. For example, starting at 20, saving $204 a month can make you a millionaire by 65. The math changes with age, but the principle remains: the earlier you start, the better. Contrary to popular belief, millionaires don't obsessively track every penny. Instead, they have a system. They automate their savings, have clear spending goals, and focus on growing their wealth. Personally, I automate a part of my salary to go directly into investments, ensuring I never miss the money. But, as many of you might wonder, how do you grow your wealth when you're on a low salary? It might surprise you to know that more than 75% of millionaires come from humble beginnings. The key is diversifying your income. Ronald had multiple sources of income, and while you don't have to juggle 10 jobs, even a simple side hustle can make a significant difference. But it wasn't just about making and saving money. Ronald's genius lay in his investments. He wasn't swayed by the flashy world of day trading, which, although alluring, sees 90% of its participants fail. Instead, Ronald was an investor. He believed in the power of compound interest, which Einstein famously called the eighth wonder of the world. This magic is how someone like Warren Buffett made 99% of his wealth. Life is unpredictable, and the financial world is no exception. Over his lifetime, Ronald saw 11 stock market crashes. But did he panic? No. He held on to his investments, knowing the market's volatile nature, and believed in long-term growth. But the burning question remains: how did a janitor learn so much about the complex world of finance? The answer is simpler than you'd expect. Ronald was a student of life. He frequented libraries, devoured the Wall Street Journal, and engaged in conversations with those more knowledgeable. In today's digital age, gaining knowledge is even more accessible. You're doing it right now, absorbing decades of information from this video. Ronald Read wasn't perfect. He made investment mistakes, but he never gave up. His diversified portfolio allowed him to weather the storms and continue on his journey to amass an $8 million fortune. Certainly, as we delve deeper into Ronald's story, I can't help but draw parallels to my own journey and perhaps many of yours. There's a universal truth here, one that transcends the confines of our individual circumstances, backgrounds, or professions. It's the idea that wealth isn't merely a function of our income but our decisions. In my early 20s, much like many of you, I was swamped in student loans, living from paycheck to paycheck. The idea of saving, let alone investing, seemed like a distant dream. But as I began to educate myself, inspired by stories like Ronald's, I realized that the path to financial freedom wasn't as inaccessible as I had once believed. It began with small steps, cutting back on non-essentials, setting aside even a tiny fraction of my income, and most importantly, cultivating a growth mindset. I began reading more, attending seminars, and engaging in discussions about money. It wasn't long before I stumbled upon the concept of passive income and the power of compound interest. I was no longer just working for money. My money was working for me. There were setbacks, of course. Investments that didn't pan out, unexpected expenses that set me back, and the ever-present lure of instant gratification. But the more I learned, the more resilient I became. And over time, those small, seemingly insignificant savings began to grow, and the magic of compound interest started to manifest. I share this personal insight not to boast but to emphasize that the principles Ronald lived by are applicable to all of us. Regardless of where you're starting, with the right knowledge, discipline, and persistence, financial freedom is within reach. It's a journey, one that requires patience and continuous learning, but the destination, as Ronald's story illustrates, is worth every sacrifice. So, what's the takeaway from Ronald's story? It's that anyone, regardless of their salary, can achieve financial success. It's not about how much you earn but how you manage, save, and invest your money. Remember, every millionaire starts with a single dollar. With that said, thanks for watching and until next time. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel for more.